What's going on, y'all? It's Jason with Reviews here, back at it again with another video. This time we're coming back with another single battle review, moving over to RBE this time and covering Mackk, Myron versus Ness. Usually with single battle reviews, I'd like to cover it earlier, right when the battle drops. Sadly, wasn't able to get it right there, but, we're still within a week of the drop, so still getting in a pretty good bar for bar here. And it's a dope battle. Some people were saying from Straight 2 of Volume 3, it was the battle of the night. Personally, just from seeing the footage, I still think A Ward versus Reed was the best battle on that card. But this is a great battle. I think that there's some crowd reaction things on the footage that kind of plays into, the energy of why people thought maybe some shockers, a performance that someone maybe didn't expect coming into this battle. I know I myself didn't, but dope battle. We're going to get in-depth, all my opinions, good and bad, and on both sides. And without further ado, let's just hop right into the review. So we got the first round starting on Mackk, and he, funny enough, Mackk is a very comedic guy, and also with Hitman Holla's a reality TV show coming out. I know I didn't do a video on that. I'm not really, like I said, for those of you who don't know, I'm not very topic-based. You're not going to see many videos on just news per se like that unless I'm really feeling it. But Hitman's got his new shows coming out. He said he wants about 10 to 12 mid-tier, below battle rappers, but just even newer talents, to come on the show and compete in a mansion. I think Mackk Myron, I think he's winning the most on the polls that anyone asked. He's a lock for it, hopefully. This guy just oozes personality, and I'm transitioning that to say at the start of his round, he does that, talking to some comedy about Ness getting choked out by Fred. He watched Making a Band for a month in preparation for this battle, so just getting the funniness there. And then a lot of immediately into talk about Ness's mother, right? What he's going to do, fucking Ness's mother, which all is part of Mack's, battle-to-battle stuff. We can always joke. He talk about fucking people's moms. Yeah. And then he transitions your mother after she licks the bus. Jeepers Creepers, she slurps it up and licks the bus. That shit was crazy. First real land of him. I think it was a little bit dry getting up to there. I put a bullet in E.T. If you try to phone home, I'll talk about Ness's T. That was all right. But one thing I will say about Mackk this round, a little bit of OBC, just back-to-back stuff. I kind of keeps mentioning, and he does this whole battle mentioning, the Making a Band shit. And obviously that's always going to be mentioned versus Ness, but I just thought that, and I thought it was a little more than the usual, and overall just in between. I think some of his little in-between bars were just lighter than the usual. I don't think it was punch. I think this time I had really more misses on the punches and more towards a dry spot than it just was great pure rapping from Mackk. And that's the thing I really feel about in the whole battle. It's still a decent Mackk performance, but I do kind of feel like he was in cruise control a little bit. Then another one about his mother sucking dick. After she fucked me, she eat the head, praying mantis, which was fucking fire. His first and only definitive haymaker. And then towards the end, good flow, but the punches just really aren't landing for Mackk. So there's some good stick-out bars here, good comedy, but overall I thought it was a pretty okay round. And Ness just shocked the hell out of me. As small as your career is, you couldn't micromanage. That was pretty fire. Just to start out, getting into the flow, but I thought that was a pretty good little jab at his career. I tapped Mackk on his left shoulder. I got his pin number. Fire. I like that whole little flow. We all know Ness is going to have the flow. But if Ness can add, content like this, punches like this, even just regular name flips, we could really see a second win from Ness, because he's already got the talent, the unique flow. That's really the hardest thing to stick out for rappers, is being unique and having your own sound. So if he can just get the pen, not even great, but just a little bit there, knock out some of the filler material, and just kind of stay the way he is this battle, I got a lot of praise for Ness coming off of this, but not in a competition with Uber, but I'm going to lift something a little bit overused, but it was straight. The flow was absolutely ridiculous all around this too, so a little line like that, if you're going to rap it that well, we can accept the line that may be a little bit overused or a little, okay, but just dope. I wrapped both these hands around his neck. Now he's an auto-tune. That was fire, and just had a few more haymakers and definitive lines that landed. So for me, it is not the clearest of clear rounds. I think it can kind of go either way, but I kind of comfortably edged Ness as the first. I really liked Ness's first. So debatable round still. Comfy edge just because I feel really comfortable giving him the round. But overall, close round. I edged Ness 1-0 going into the second. And then we get right into the second round, back on Mackk, making a band and mom jokes at the start. So like I said, it gets a little bit repetitive, this battle, where you can really feel oh, we're going back to that again. At least for me, I just felt like he was touching on the same two topics pretty much across all three rounds. And sometimes just in, and just kind of casual ways. Chung Lee, I'll leave a couple knots. Fire. Then he gets into actually bars again. Then he gets into the E flips, and I actually think the E flips are probably one of the big dopest stretches for him in the battle where he was consistently landing. The white boy toast E. It's like Bert told me you're gonna put you in an earn E. Your name's Elliot, so I bet you better hope I miss E. All these E flips, and I actually thought that they were pretty good the way that he was landing them. None of them haymakers, but just back to back to back, just hitting jab, 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 and that all lands to points, especially when you catch a rhythm with it. I got him scared to come outside on Mo 3, fire. Show you what's it. I got a gun, show you what's about to air like a TV guide, also fire. But once again, similar criticism to the first, and I really have for Mackk the whole battle. This time I have actual examples to give. He has a super bad bar. He has a Will Smith slapping Chris Rock bar, and he's an Uncle Fester bar in there. And they're all just kind of misses. They're not like big air balls, so don't think of it like that. But dry spots are when you have lines like that really aren't like terrible. Like the super bad bar isn't like terrible. They're not bad, but they're just you know what I'm saying? They're not landing anything, and that's what a dry spot is. I mean, you can count the dry spot as a whole ends up counting against you, but it's not you just saying awful bars. It's just you not really landing anything. So that's kind of the feeling, very similar to the first, but even a little bit more that I got from Mackk second, and then Ness has a monstrous second. He starts out with a caught Nitty at the Walmart, aiming for the target with Nitty Walmart target bar. It was kind of at the start, and he was getting a little bit gassed. And that's another thing about this battle that I do think that I believe I said in the beginning that I think that A Ward and Reed Dollars is still battle of the night from this card, at least from what we've seen. And while this battle, they said, I had heard some people say it was battle of the night. I can get it off the energy in the building, but love Goody. I love what he does, but I think he did a little bit too much in this battle. I think people were really happy to see Ness doing great, and they would not let this man catch any of his pockets, which I would have even think would have made the performance better for a guy like Ness who catches these crazy flow patterns. And they just kept stopping him. And some lines, which we'll go over in this second, his best round, were worth stopping for, but some it's like let him rap. So I think he was a little bit gassed, but doesn't take away from his actual second still being great. Put hands and feet on you like a Chinese back massage. That was fun. I like that. I did like that. I told his wife and kids to get back inside. Shot him in the doorway. Dude fell back inside. Performance bar, another haymaker. So he comes out with 2 bars that I fuck with heavy. But that fell back inside might be the biggest haymaker of the battle.
Information classified. I pulled up to his crib, told his wife and kids to get back inside. Shot him by the doorway. And nigga fell back inside.
And I'm right back to selling dog food like it's PetSmart. The line, that's how I took lemons and made lemonade. That was fire. Lace front, I know it's cap when I hear them lines. You see, so getting away with a little bit of OBC, some crazy wordplay, but when you rap it that well and the emphasis is on the flow, we can look over the writing just a little bit. But still great bars in here, like the fell back inside, the Chinese back massage. You got a diss side, from this side to this side, some wordplay on that. It's crazy how I'm in my mid-40s, but I still want it more than y'all. I like that. And I take this cornbread with the biscuit. I'm on a dinner roll. So Ness was styling. Maybe the best round I think I've seen of Ness since he came back, dating back from Summer Madness 2. Incredible stuff. And I had Ness taking the second clear. So I actually had Ness up 2-0 going into the third. And then we get into the third round, and probably Mack's best round. He starts out with a little R&B scheme. He had a 112 and some jagged edge bars. I'm slicker than Jermaine Jackson's head. So a lot of different references in there, just musical references. And it was definitely good, good to see him get off. The first 2 rounds, I thought he started off, like I said, with the mom jokes and the making the band stuff. But this time he's able to get off, to a quick start. Couple jokes. He said, you got a bald head and a bald face, look like a professional child molester, which was pretty funny. Had a bunch of, jokes, just joking on him. He had the Scott pattern, which maybe I'll get a clip in here if I'm not able to describe it perfectly. But Scott, like Jean Grey when she killed Scott, Jill Scott, Gil Scott, had a bunch of different stuff in there, and creative flow pattern of his own, which I thought was very fire. The barrel be on your shirt like Ralph Lauren, that was cool. And then he just gets to he's rhyming, but I can't even say it all, but he's just tearing apart Ness, saying he's a dick rider, talking about talk about the making a band shit, but just in the much more like just going at him way, like line after line, where the crowd was like, damn, he's just fucking vicious right now. Or there's really not a lot of wordplay. It's really just straight up disrespect, but pulling off kind of an angle of a real life situation. And it hit pretty well, way better than I think the approach he took for the other making a band bars. I thought even just going right at him like this, it worked. Funny enough. And then Eve, I put Paul's on a Philly bitch. That was fire too. So overall, probably the most consistent Mackk rounds. None of these Mackk rounds really blew me away. I think Mack's had better performances this year. I think and I had him in this battle, if you guys saw my predictions for it, coming in here and kind of cleaning up Ness, at least a 2-1 clear, but I predicted like a 3-0, like a murder. And we're getting the best Ness ever, it looks like. And then we're getting a Mackk that was just decent, which decent for Mackk right now is the worst of the Macks that we've probably seen this year. But still a cool performance from him. And then, Ness goes into his third, raising 2 weapons like Black Lightning, dance up to the wake and see the damage I've done. But you could clearly see Ness is kind of fatigued, losing maybe a little bit of breath control, maybe forgetting a little bit of his material. You can just tell it's off, the little bit of pauses in between from the first 2 rounds where he's just flowing, he's screaming, doing the ad-libs in between like it's fucking me, man. You could see the confidence. And the third just ran out of gas. But so Ness kind of, I'm not even say choked, but he just kind of gives away the third. So Mackk got the third round clear, which means that, my decision for this battle, the first being close, I had Ness getting the second clear and Mackk getting the third clear, but I gave the battle to Ness 2-1. And that's it for my review on this battle, guys. Let me know what you thought of Ness versus Mackk Myron. I don't want to be a hater. Obviously, there's been rumbles of this is still a good battle. I think the footage is still good. I just think that there was a little bit too much of the crowd stuff going on, which normally you're not going to hear from me. I'm cool with crowd reaction being as much as it wants most of the time. I can really judge a battle regardless of, whatever type of crowd is out there. But just on the footage, when you're talking about pure rappers that catch cadences and build momentum, like a lot of their stuff is through built momentum, you gotta let these guys get through their pockets and get through their raps, just regularly. I think there's moments of it where they let Mackk do it, and especially moments where they let Ness do it. But they were just chopping. If I could just see Ness still want haymaker reactions when he finishes a pocket, but get through his pocket straight up, I think he would even look more dominant. Very impressed with Ness, and just having the little bit of wordplay more than usual, just better with the actual written material, allows us to even appreciate the pure rapping more. I think that's the big critique when we talk about a guy like Ness, is that he raps great, but what is he saying a lot of the times? It doesn't have to be the most well-written, even gun bar stuff. People probably think, there's people that are going to take what I say and think, oh, you want gun bars, you want this. No, but there needs to be a little bit of writing where he still did legacy talk here, but the dinner roll bar was fantastic. The Chinese back massage, just a little bit of wordplay like that. It just makes your material better, makes your performance easier to appreciate. So, like I said, in my opinion, maybe the best Ness that I've seen up to this point. So dope showing from him and Mackk. I expect him to get a 30 here. I can't lie, I am a little bit disappointed in him. I just thought that he would win this battle. But if it walks away and it's still a battle of the night contender, no shame to him. I mean, Mack's still fantastic. We need to see Mackk versus more top tiers. And on Hitman Holla's show, we need to see both of that. So shout out to him. Just wanted a little bit more from him out of this battle. But like I said, dope battle overall. And I can't wait to see, RB's been pretty quiet this year, but I know eventually they're going to have Mackk out, maybe some big events coming up, and I can't wait to cover some of their bigger matchups that they're putting together with their talent. But it's been J Small Reviews again, y'all, and I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.